Underemployment sucks.
At the peak of the pandemic back in May, job postings for entry-level college graduates fell 45%.
For low-income students who lack social capital, finding a job feels impossible as these students often lack family members with professional networks that they can capitalize on.
Say I submitted close to 500 applications.
My roommates and I have collectively applied to, like thousands at this point.
This usually means they have to resort to underemployment, having to work in retail, fast food, or even participate in the gig economy just to get by.
These are individuals that are underemployed. They're not at or above the median earnings for their skills and their desire to contribute in the workforce.
So to talk about this, I went to Iceland. Here, I got to interview my friend Deybi Ixtabala. We not only talk about how he overcame underemployment after college, but also his experiences as a first-gen student living in Oakland.
My classes couldn't even afford to give us a classroom set of French textbooks.
And despite the challenges students like Deybi face, he shows that there's still a way to keep moving forward. I just want to get to know a bit about your journey as like a first-gen student, going to college, being from East Oakland, and then how you pivoted a career right after college to what you're doing now, doing biotech.
I think high school for me, it was pretty fun, but at the same time it was really, really hard. I had a lot of hardships at home. My mom got deported the summer before my freshman year of high school. And I remember I couldn't make it to orientation, so they gave me some BS classes freshman year. And I could have took my language classes and got it over with, but no, I was a senior in French too with a bunch of sophomores. Anyways, as a first gen kid, I just knew I had to get to college, right? I knew I had to get to college and just make it somehow, right? And just get good grades. I didn't know what that meant, right? I just knew I had to get like an A, right? And that was hard because sometimes my sister and I would skip school to go to work, buy our own clothes, buy our own school supplies. Yeah, so that was tough, but I was able to make it, and by senior year, I was able to apply to all the colleges I wanted to, and applied to the scholarship, the Gates Millennium Scholarship, which the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation funds for, and basically just pays for your entire bachelor's.
So you essentially got a full ride to go to college.
Yes. Well, I'm gonna be honest. I got paid to go to college because they pay for all expenses, everything, rent, books, anything, lab fees. They pay for everything.
Coachella tickets?
If I wanted to use my pocket money for that.
For real?
Yes, and I'm sure a lot of my other Gates colleagues did that, which is fine, right? So yeah, I was very fortunate. I got the scholarship. It was still rough. High school was rough because senior year my dad passed away. And that was just super tough because it was the main breadwinner for us. I never got to tell him that, or he never got to see that I got that scholarship, right? So I was kind of bummed out about that. But nonetheless, we just kept pushing. I was fortunate enough to have my mother be able to come back to the States legally a couple months before my dad passed, which was perfect timing, or else we would have been orphans, literally. So I'm just very blessed to be able to have at least one parent present.
With those obstacles you had already faced, in collision with the obstacles you were facing in college, what was that like? How did you even get past it?
It was incredibly overwhelming. The discrepancy in education because of different socioeconomic backgrounds was very apparent. And so that was really something really tough. And I just had to come to terms with the fact that it is what it is. That's life. These are the cards that were dealt to me. I just got to go to work.
Mm-hmm.
Just go to work. If he does it now, okay, that's great. And if it takes me 4, that's great too. I just got to do it. That's it. And that's kind of how I dealt with that kind of gap.
Yeah. It's challenging because you can't choose the cards you're dealt with, but you can choose what you do with them next. I want to kind of get more into the research because you did research in college, but then after you didn't go directly into a research job. How was that experience doing research in college?
I was very fortunate to be in a lab where we were able to run the assays. We were able to run the experiments. We were able to run this Western blot or use the transmission electron microscope. And I had that kind of freedom, right? And so I was very fortunate, and it was very fun for me to be able to get my hands wet with tissue culture, aseptic techniques, working with micropipettes, pipetters, everything in that nature.
So I was gonna ask, like, because like you graduated college, but you didn't go straight to a lab. You were like, I have to go straight to work, to pay rent and stuff.
Every day, weekdays, I would work 6 hours at Trader Joe's, study for 6 hours. And I was doing that every day, and it was very exhausting. One day, I was just at Trader Joe's, and I was just kind of getting frustrated. I was working, and I like to say I'm a hardworking person, just because, and I say that because my mom and dad have a great work ethic, and I think me seeing that forced me to also have a great work ethic. So whatever I do, whether it's cleaning the toilet or whether it's expanding $60,000 natural regulatory T cells, I always want to do my best, right? But then when I graduated, I went back to Oakland, right? And then that's much different, right? So all the people in Oakland is just kind of like people trying to make it. It's their second job, right? Because they're very, very expensive. I just had a moment where I was just thinking, like, wow, like I have a degree, like that was so hard for me to get, and all the odds were against me to get, right? And then I was like, I just do something with it, right? Like I just need to use it, right? I mean, you don't necessarily need to use it if you change your mind, like you can, but my mind wasn't changed, like I was set on biology. So I went ahead and just applied to a ton of biotech companies, applied to about like 15 biotech companies.
Dang.
Which is actually not that much. A lot of people apply 20, 30. A lot of the colleagues I knew that applied biotech.
That's a lot.
And yeah, and I was able to shoot an interview with the company I'm at right now, and I really, really vibe with them, and they vibe with me. And I think my experience at school really paid off there, because a lot of the things I learned in college, they do at the lab. So once my manager talks to me about this all the time, when she saw my skills, she was like, he has great skills, and he's straight out of college. Like, a lot of college kids don't have this, right? So when they saw my techniques, my skills, and my knowledge, they were just kind of like, oh, this is it. Like, I love his personality, and he has the skills on the spot.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, I didn't get it on the spot, but the hiring manager is like, basically, like,
basically,
spot,
you're in. What was it like to be like, this kid from Oakland doing research in a biotech lab, essentially?
Yeah. So at first, a little bit of imposter syndrome. It wasn't like detrimental. It's just something I noticed. Like, it's only Hispanic there, right? Only Hispanic there, right? But for me, it's just like, there's no one around you just kind of like you, right? And those moments in there with a lot of very smart, very, very smart, very well spoken people. So that was a little hard, but at the same time, I think it was very encouraging, because on paper, I don't look great, right? My grades aren't the highest, right? But I think this kid from Oakland, and they saw that, has work ethic and is able to work. So I think I was able to convey that message to them. And because of that, we all have that in common. Everyone in that company is A+ players. So we have that in common, and that's going very well.
Awesome. What advice do you have for someone who's trying to get into biotech? They may not be from like the best areas. They may be first gen, unrepresented. They may feel like, I want to be like that kid, like you. What advice would you have for them?
Keep trying. Like, don't stop yourself from doing what you want, because I could have just been like, wow, that biotech company, wow, they're pretty sick. They're doing immunotherapeutic research, right? There's no way they'll take me because my GPA is super low. But look at me now, right? I look bad on paper, but if you just have the confidence and just the willing to show them that, then you'll get a shot, and someone will take a shot for you. So you just gotta keep trying.
Awesome. All right. If someone wants to reach out to you, where can they find you?
Yeah, just find me on LinkedIn. I'm probably like on Deybi on there. So yeah, just Deybi Robinales Ixtabula. Feel free to talk to Chris if you need the spelling, or you can just reach me at my email, deybirobinales@gmail.com.
Yeah, I'll just write it in the description. Then just copy and paste it.
Or you could just hit my DMs on Instagram, which is DZD 5 E's, 3 Z's, 2 Y's, and I'll respond.
You just couldn't make it easy on anybody anymore, man.
You know, it's just Hispanic names. They're hard.
All right, Davey. Thank you so much, man. I'm glad we're in Iceland.
All right, dude.